Hey guys, we're going to look at calculating percentiles for this video. So let me go to my laptop. Okay. So the first thing you need about percentiles is there's two different ways to calculate them. The first one is location of data value for the P percentile. So if I want to find like the 20th or the 30th percentile in a group of data, I'm going to use this formula, and it's location equals the sample size times the percentile over 100. So I'm going to give you an example of how to do it. There's rules that you follow, and the two examples behind it will show you each rule. Okay, so if you run the formula and you have a decimal value for L, then you have to go up to the next largest whole number. If the formula results in a whole number, then you're going to go to the actual data value in the set. So if the location is 5 and you go to the 5th data value in there, then you're going to take the 5th value and the 6th value, divide by 2 to get the mean. So let's do an example. Okay, I wrote the problem in English, or the formula, so it might help you. Location equals sample size times percentile over 100. First thing to do, order that data from minimum to maximum. And I have 16 values right here. Just say they are quiz scores from 1 to 10. N is 16 because I have 16 values in the small data set. So my question is location of the 35th percentile. So what I'm going to do is my sample size is 16 times 35 for the 35th percentile over 100. So if I do that math, I get 5.6. Because it's a decimal, I have to round up to 6 and go to the 6th place in the data. So if I look up at the data, I'm going to go 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3. So my answer for the 35th percentile is 3. Remember, because it was a decimal with the answer it gave me, I have to round up to the next whole number. That's the location, and then I have to go find it in the data set. Well, what happens when it's not a decimal? So here we go. If you go look for the 50th percentile, and you look in here, you'll see 16 times 50 over 100, 16 again being my sample size, 50 being the 50th percentile, I get 8. That's a whole number. Since it's a whole number, I go to the 8th place. So I go 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. I go to the last 4, and I also take the number beside it, that's 5, add them together and divide by 2, so I get that the 50th percentile is 4.5. Remember the median that we talked about in the earlier chapters? That's also the 50th percentile. So your median in your data set is your 50th percentile. So for us, the median and the 50th percentile for this data is 4.5. So that's how to determine the location of a percentile. Now what happens when you're trying to figure out the percentile? Guys, this happens a lot when I'm figuring out tests and stuff. Okay, so it's percentiles of a data value. So to find the percentile of a particular value in a data set, I'm going to do the percentile equals the location divided by the sample size over 100. A good way to think about this, so say if you wanted to know, I wanted to know the top 10% of Georgia Highlands students, and I want to take the top 10%, I've got to go find that 90th percentile and go up to find all the scores I want, say for like math test or SATs. This is where this comes in handy. All right, so let's look. All right. So let's do, oh, I skipped one. I'm sorry. Let me go back. I don't want to miss this because I did 2 examples for you. All right, here we go. So percentile of a data value example. Percentile equals location divided by sample size times 100. Okay? I just wrote it in English to make it easier. Remember, you will have the formulas on the midterm, so it'll help. Excuse me. Remember to order your data from minimum to maximum. So what is the percentile? What percentile is 7? So my location of 7, if I count over, it's the 13th data value. I divide that by 16 and multiply by 100. It gives me 81.25. Since this is a decimal, I will round it to 81%, so 7 is in the 81st percentile for this data. The regular rules of rounding go on for this type. The only time you do something different is when you're dealing with location. So the next one is percentile equals location divided by sample size again times 100. That's your formula you're going to use. So you're saying, what percentile is 2? Well, you know you're using this formula because it's asking what the percentile is. So I find 2 in my data set, and it's my 4th value. Divide it by 16, multiply it by 100, I get 25. Since this is a whole number, I'm done, and I can conclude that 4 is in the 25th percentile for this data set. I hope that helps, and I'm going to keep making videos for 3.3. Thanks.